When you were in the middle of developing a new feature, you suddenly discovered a severe bug on another branch. Have you ever been in the coding zone? You are aware that you need to make the necessary adjustments, but giving up on the progress you have made so far seems like a waste of time. Enter the Git stash, a well-kept secret that enables you to temporarily put your work on hold without causing any damage to it. Imagine your working directory as your messy desk. You're coding away on a new project, let's call it Feature X, papers and tools scattered all around. Suddenly, your boss calls, a high-priority bug fix has landed, we'll call this bug Z. You can't ignore it, but throwing everything on the floor to answer the call seems drastic. That's where the stash comes in. It's like a magic drawer in your desk. With a single command, you shove all your Feature X mess, uncommitted changes, staged files, the whole lot, into the drawer, leaving your desk clean. Now you can calmly switch to fixing bug Z on a pristine workspace. When you're done with bug Z, you can pull your Feature X mess back out of the stash, just like it was before. No lost work, no cluttered desk, or working directory, in this case. So, how do we unlock this magical stashing power? Let's dive into the world of Git commands. The basic stash, saving your mess for later. The most common scenario is stashing all your current changes. To do that, simply type git stash. This command takes a snapshot of your entire working directory, including staged and unstaged changes, and stores it in a hidden stack. Each stashed item gets a unique reference number, like a ticket for your saved mess. Let's see it in action. We'll assume you've already made some changes to your code, maybe added some comments or tweaked some functions. Now, type git stash and press enter. Git will take a moment to process, then return a success message with the stash reference, something like saved stash at 0, drop commit. That cryptic message means your changes are safely stashed, referenced as stash at 0. Now your working directory is clean, perfect for switching to your bug fix branch. Applying the stash, retrieving your mess, the good kind. Once you've dealt with your high-priority task, fixing bug Z, you can reclaim your Feature X mess from the stash. The command for this is git stash pop. This pops the most recent stash at 0, in our example, back onto your working directory. It essentially undoes the git stash command, bringing back all your changes as if you never stashed them in the first place. But what if you stashed multiple things? Let's say you made some changes, stashed them, stash at 0, then made some more changes and stashed again, stash at 1. Applying the most recent stash with git stash pop would only bring back stash at 1. Navigating the stash stack, peeking and applying specifically. There are ways to work with your stash stack more precisely. Here are a couple of helpful commands. Git stash list. This lists all your stashed items with their reference numbers and a short description, usually the first line of your most recent commit message. Git stash show stash at 0, or any other stash reference. This lets you peek at the contents of a specific stash, showing the exact changes that were saved. Git stash apply stash at 1. This applies a specific stash at 1, in this case, without removing it from the stack. The changes are applied on top of your current working directory. These commands give you more control over your stashed goodies. You can choose which mess to retrieve and even preview them before bringing them back. Taking control, advanced stashing techniques. The Git stash offers even more tricks up its sleeve. Here are a couple of advanced techniques. Stashing specific files. By default, Git stash saves everything. But what if you only want to stash a specific file or set of files? You can use git stash p or git stash patch. This brings up an interactive prompt where you can choose which changes, hunks of code, to stash from the modified files. Stashing with a message. The default stash descriptions are cryptic. You can add a custom message with git stash save my super cool feature. This makes it easier to identify your stashed items later.